And we're live.
Hello,
Do
hello.
marinate here.
Marinate.
Yeah, you like that word, don't you? It's better
I
than moist.
do. Better than moist. Hate that word. Although I was thinking of you today because I had cake
Did
and
you?
it was a nice cake and it was look at this. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's okay.
Um it was a good cake and there is no other way to describe it but moist. And I didn't want to say it. But I'm like, I gotta call Teresa and Jay because
Sometimes you just have to say it.
are you kidding me right now?
You can't say it's nice and wet. That just doesn't.
Wet cake would be disgusting.
Right? It's not.
Moist cake is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
The only acceptable use of the word is when you're describing cake.
I'll go with that.
All right.
Or what
I'm
about
glad
meat?
you agree because
What
other
about
people would.
you don't want it dry? Well, I guess you could say juicy.
Juicy cake?
No, I said what about with meat?
Oh, yes. You don't want. Yeah, you can't.
Sometimes you can say the whatever was moist, but no, I guess you could just say juicy.
Yes, I
Okay.
prefer because moist meat is just
It just doesn't
no.
sound right,
Uh,
does it?
I'm so sorry.
That is so funny. He
This is
just
the good time to. It's a good time to sit in our lap. Apparently.
So I owe everybody an apology for not coming on last week. Like we said we were. I ended up getting sick on Tuesday and being sent home from work. Had to
Hmm.
go and get COVID tested and just felt completely rotten. Thank goodness I was negative. Was able to go back to
Hmm.
work on Friday and able to have everybody over for dinner on Thursday. So we
Oh,
had,
that's right. Thanksgiving.
yeah, we were off Thursday. So I got an extra day to rest. Um, we had Jay's mom came over and we were thankful for that. We weren't sure that she was
Nice.
coming over. But we had, the three of us with Hunter. Then we had my niece and her fiance, or her boyfriend, I should say. And then we had, hi, Shauna. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Michelle. And then we had Jay's mom and his brother. And then my brother came down. So it was kind of cool. And then we had a new baby born on my dad's wife's side of the family. Her great granddaughter was born Thursday evening,
Oh, wow.
Thanksgiving baby, which was special.
Great granddaughter. That's beautiful.
Great
Is that
granddaughter.
their first one?
Yes. Yes.
Ah,
And they it was a little they kept her in the hospital a little extra and because she was jaundice.
hmm.
And I kept telling her that's not that uncommon.
No.
It's really not. But they ended up I think they kind of badgered them into letting them go from the hospital and taking her home.
Hmm.
They took her home and then they took her to the pediatrician yesterday and he sent them straight to Children's Hospital. She got admitted because her bilirubin was up. But she's back home today. Children says, well, whenever the hospital that she was at, whenever they have a jaundice baby, they just lay him on the pad and think that's enough, and it doesn't do it. And we always end up getting their babies here.
Ah,
So she should have just went there to begin with.
yeah. Yeah.
But she's
Well, I'm
doing,
glad everything's taken care of.
yeah, she's doing well now. Now they get
Good.
nights with no sleep. So
Yeah.
the next 18 years.
I do not miss those days.
It's bad. It's bad. Hi, Deanna. Mama D in the house. Tessa, Mr. Tincher.
I wish I could see. I can't see anything
Oh,
because I'm on my phone, right?
okay. Okay.
So, oh, there we go.
Yeah,
I have to kind of flip back and forth and
I had a decent day today, but like I was telling Tina right before we came on, I am so done with people. We just lost Tina. Let's see if she comes back in. She probably hung up on us. but I was just done with people. Everybody's so rude and mean and nasty and hateful. And I don't understand it. It's supposed to be a time of being nice. It's the holiday season. Everybody should be friendly, and it is not so. And I get it that everybody is fed up with being stuck in the house, can't go anywhere, can't go see friends and family. Tina can't come down here from Canada. That just bites. Oh, there she is.
We all know I'm not very tech savvy.
Yeah, Shauna says people suck right now, especially patients. I had a patient today, and I'm not going to break any HIPAA because I'm not divulging a name or anything. And she didn't want to come to one of our bigger hospitals because she said the last time she was there that the ER patients took precedence over her. And I told her, it doesn't matter where you go, an ER patient is going to take precedence over you. She's even if I have an appointment. I said, even if you have an appointment. She says, well, that's just not right. I made an appointment so I can have my time slot. And I said, well, that ER patient didn't plan on being sick, didn't plan on coming in. So if it was you or your loved one, and I'm expecting to actually get called on the carpet for this one, because I said, if it was you or your loved one, wouldn't you want them to be taken care of promptly in an ER situation? She's like, well, it just wasn't fair. And I said, okay, where would you like me to schedule you? And I finally ended up getting her scheduled where she said she didn't want to go, but she needed a larger MRI machine because she's very claustrophobic. The cat is actually, Tina's is on her lap. Mine is out here screaming.
Is that what's going on?
Yes.
I'm sorry, and I can't get comfortable to save my life today.
Wiggle worm.
Oh, my laptop's going kaput, so I have to do this from my phone. So
maybe
it's going to be one of those days, I think, Trees.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving? Well, you didn't have a Thanksgiving. I meant to say, sorry about that.
No.
I was just Shelly's thing here. I was going to say, do you think maybe Santa will bring you one for Christmas?
Thanksgiving?
For Christmas. A laptop.
A laptop? No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, Santa brought Bob a laptop for Christmas. Did not bring Tina a laptop for Christmas.
Okay. Joy, is down in Mississippi. She's my cousin. And she wants to know if we're staying warm. It's freaking cold up here. And Tina's even further north than I am.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you guys get hit with a lot of snow?
Our grass was barely covered. But the roads were slick and people thought they were stupid. Had never seen snow before. It's been eons since we had snow. It's only been not even a year, but stupid people. John, I'm sorry to hear. John asked if we could send prayers and healing love and light to his mom. She's hospitalized with COVID and it's not doing real good.
So no, I'm sorry.
If there's anything we can do, John, let us know.
Let's get everybody in the chat. Let's all send our combined healing and prayers.
That's right.
Sorry, John. That's too bad.
Tina Marie's in here too. She said her laptop's dying too, but she knows that Santa's bringing her one.
Well, apparently I've been very naughty because I'm not getting one.
Tina knows the true you. He says, I know that she hasn't been as good as she plays like she has been.
That girl has to work for her laptop. She ain't getting one from me.
And what's funny is that I'm sending Tina all these because I love TikTok. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I just love to watch them. I don't post any of them, but they're funny. And I keep sending them to Tina. Ones that I think are hilarious. And they have one today that said that they found out that there was a COVID test that you could do at home by yourself. And the guy's like, okay, what is it? And they said, take your thumbs, put one in your mouth, put one up your butt, count to 3, and then switch them. If you can taste anything, you don't have COVID. I thought it was hysterical.
I thought it was disgusting.
I laughed and laughed. They thought I was, because I was at lunch. I was sitting at my desk at lunch eating, because you don't go around anybody. So I was sitting at my desk eating lunch, and I just rolled, and they were like, "What is going on?" Oh, Tina, it's a guilty pleasure. TikTok is. Tina Marie says she has yet to get on it. I love it.
I'm not on it either. I just watch the stuff. It's funny because I go to bed at like 9:30 at night because I gotta wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
And so I'll wake up at 5:30 to all these TikToks from you late at night, and that's what you're doing.
Well, they haven't been as late anymore since I started back to work.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I'm usually in bed about 10 or 10:30. Tonight I think it's going to be earlier than that. I'm not working, and now I'm working overtime, and I'm not liking it. I am not liking it. Mark says sick.
See, it's gross.
It is gross, but I thought it was hysterical.
Okay, I'm going to try this again.
Okay, so if we lose you, just come back on.
I'll be okay.
Famous last words.
There.
You did.
Okay, if I do this. Yeah! I got her.
She is not. Oh, you know that.
Okay, so here's a dumb question. Mm-hmm. Besides me, because I do it, do you have any friends that call you up just for a random reading once in a while? Like, hey, Teresa, I lost my wallet. Where is it?
Callie will post something and she'll tag me in it saying that something's lost. And I've helped our friends find stuff. I'll get messages on Facebook, but nobody really calls me up to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, very few. And I'm surprised because I'm actually kind of good at it.
You're really good at it, actually.
And then Jamie Emery's daughter called me because she had lost her wallet.
Okay.
And I kept telling her that I see it under a bunch of clothes. And I was like, it was like down in something dark. Mm-hmm. She's like, we've checked everywhere. She finally found it where I said it was. She had to dig for it. Tina says, so now that you ladies are on Wednesday nights instead of Tuesdays, will you come on my show? That's right. She's on Tuesday nights.
Oh, yes. Yeah, now we have to flip-flop every year because I volunteer for a youth center, and the nights that I volunteer at the youth center go Tuesday and Wednesday, so we have to switch every year. So, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, we'd love to.
If I can book it when I'm not with the youth center, or if not, Teresa, you're more than welcome to, and I'll come watch you guys later when I'm done at the
we're a team
meeting. Well, I've got meetings, but
yeah,
I'm off at Christmas. Like, we don't have anything at Christmas, so I don't know if that's too soon or not, but
years that time period there.
Like when the kids are off on their Christmas holidays, we don't do meetings.
Okay.
But we have to do everything. We've been having to do everything through Zoom calls since last April. And it's just so bizarre.
Does it help in the kids in it?
Oh, we still have a good time. We still have really good talks. Yeah. It's we don't have as many kids. But I mean, when they do show up, we do have quality chit chat, so it's kind of nice. Yeah.
Good. Because
they're good kids.
Well, they talk to you guys about things that they can't talk to their parents or don't feel that they can talk to their parents about. Right.
Well, we're more like peer mentors type of thing. We're not counselors, right?
Right.
So it's just like a peer mentor group.
Okay.
but it's great. Like we're doing a lot. I like last year I did a haunted history tour for them as a fundraiser. So that was kind of cool because I never ever thought that I'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
Um, and
That,
then I'm on the fundraising committee for the youth center as well. So we do like 4 major fundraisers a year, and I'm involved with all of that stuff. And
but you're
then I've
really
got
good
my
at fundraisers.
yeah.
You're
I'm okay. It's I've been running fundraisers for probably 20 years, right?
yeah.
So after you do them for so long, they just become. I'm really good the day of at putting out fires. To go around and get door prizes and sponsorship and stuff like that. I've never been good at that. I always
I,
feel bad asking people for money.
I agree with that. When we
But
used to do our poker runs, and we would have to go like our big thing that Jay and I were in charge of was getting food donated.
okay.
So that was we would get like um, pork chops or pork loins, whole pork loin, and we cut them into chops ourselves. Corn on the cob, potatoes, stuff to make coleslaw, hamburgers, that kind of stuff. We would get donated, and
Yep.
I hate going and asking for the grocers for money.
Mhm.
Kind of, I mean, in a way, I miss it, but I'm glad that I'm not in it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything we did went for Children's Hospital
Oh, that's awesome.
or a family that was in need with a special needs child.
Yeah.
So we that was special for us.
We've
Sammy,
always done what's that?
Sammy Henderson's in the front on the chat.
Oh, love that guy. I had a
I
good
miss,
chat with him the other night. It was so nice.
I miss him.
I said next year when all this business is done and I can cross the border again, I'm going to West Virginia for a weekend, so you'll have to come with
I
because
will.
I'm going to go see him.
I will definitely come with. I
Yep.
absolutely when we went down to Sweet Springs Sanitarium or whatever it was called,
Oh,
um,
yes.
we loved that, and the drive was absolutely gorgeous.
Hmm.
I really liked. Can you hear that cat?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, she's whining because I'm in here with the door shut. Can't take it. But anyway, Jay, we had never been to West Virginia.
Hmm.
And so we drove through and it was just, we loved it. I told myself I definitely want to
Yeah.
go back. I
It's
definitely.
honestly, and everything happens for a reason. And my ex was from West Virginia. God bless him. Um, I don't miss him a whole lot, but I really miss West Virginia a lot.
She missed the state.
I miss the state itself. We used to do a lot of day trips. I still have friends there that I met through him. Um, just it is such a beautiful state. It really is. And
It's
I
gorgeous.
miss going. I used to go every other weekend, and I miss it.
And what was funny is when we went down there was like this, it was a river, but it had this really nice um, mill there and a little
Hmm.
waterfall. And I took pictures and the video, and I was like, "Hey Tina, you won't believe this. This is so pretty, and the water was just great. It was fantastic." And she's like, "I know exactly where you're at." I'm like, "You're kidding me." Well,
Sorry.
Millie, we're doing good. How are you doing? Haven't seen you in forever.
And you did the same thing with Cathedral Falls. When you were at
Yeah,
Cathedral Falls, you were taking pictures, and I'm like, I know, isn't it beautiful? And you're like, what? You've been here too?
I know. I want to go when my knees aren't bad. My
Yeah.
knee was really jacked then, and I wanted to walk up to the fall.
Mhm.
Jay was having a small stroke because I told him, I said, I have to get my feet in this water.
Yep.
And he goes, no. And I said, oh, yes. He goes, Teresa, he said, no. I said, no. The flip flops came off, down on the rocks I went. He's like, what if you fall? I said, then I get wet. You know? and you're going to have to hoist me up. But I had, for whatever reason, I had to get my feet in that water, and it felt so good. I loved it. And it's funny because I love the sound of water, um, the ocean, the creeks. I love the sound of running water, but I am terrified of deep water. It
I
scares
don't understand that.
it. I talked to somebody. I had a reading probably 8 years ago, maybe, by a gentleman, and he asked me. He said, "Are you scared of? Are you scared of water?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And he said, "That's because in one of your past lives, you drown in a boat."
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, that would make sense then. So I must have
Yep.
got ate by a spider, and I
Ate
drowned.
by a spider. Okay,
I hate
sorry.
spiders. Oh my gosh, I hate spiders.
Ate
Yeah,
by a spider.
yeah, I can't stand them.
Neither can I.
Tina Marie says she loves that she's that way about the ocean. Now I love the ocean too. It's the sound
Hmm.
of it. It's that sound and the power that it has.
And
And
like the smell. It even smells different.
it's that salt
Yep.
coming through.
Oh, I
When
love the ocean.
Folly Island in South Carolina, it's the farthest point east on the coast. And I just stood there and I just kept looking out and kept looking out. And Jay says, "What are you looking for?" I said, "I'm just trying to fathom the fact that if I were to start swimming, we all know I'm not going to. If I were to start swimming and I swam straight, I would run into Africa.
Hmm.
There's not like a state on the other side of it, or, it's just this huge, vast body of water. And it was just blowing my mind when you sit and you think about it and you think of how far away it really is.
Hmm.
And then you think, well, one of these waves could have something from over there in it. This water
Yeah.
could touch the shores over there at one point. And I just think it's
I never
really,
thought of that.
I just think it's so cool. So cool.
Hmm.
Deanna says it calms her soul. It does me too. Bubba, how are you? I hope you're doing better. Sam Henderson says he's afraid of water and bridges.
Oh.
There is a bridge in South Carolina coming from or going to either way, from Folly Island into Charleston. And it does this bit. And
Okay.
they don't have like, how the bridge going from Ohio to Cincinnati into Cincinnati to Kentucky has the big
Hmm.
sides on it. You couldn't go off.
Yep.
They don't have that down there.
Yep.
It's just a little guardrail, maybe high enough for your knee. If something happens, you're nose down into the bay.
Yep.
And it's like, this is stupid. I sat down, literally, I sat down in the back of the van with my head down. My dad was driving. I said, "Let me know when it's done," because I couldn't handle it. My heart was racing. I was having a huge issue. Huge issue. I just can't do it. It just worried me to death thinking that we were going to. But we did take a harbor cruise. And I was very proud of myself for getting on that boat.
Hmm.
And we had dolphins playing in the wake in front
Oh,
of us.
wow.
It was really neat. We saw a couple sharks, which kind of freaked me out because if we go down, I'm shark bait. That's all I can think. And we came up next to these big, like, tanker ships, and you don't really realize how big they are, the cargo containers. But when you're on this little tiny boat, and it seats like 60 people, so it's not really small, it's a decent size.
Right.
And you are next to one of these cargo ships, and you're looking straight up, and they are placing the containers of the semis
Hmm.
just like they are Legos, placing them around there, just like it's nothing. It's really weird. That really puts things in perspective of how small you really are. So I liked that. It was cool.
My dad, we've got a lot of the freighters that come in and out. For where I live, because of where I live, it's like a little highway of water, right?
Oh
And we
yeah.
used to take the boat out, and my dad used to drive us right up to the ships. And it's funny to look up and realize just how dinky and tiny you are compared
Yeah.
to this giant ship.
Yeah. It kind of puts things in perspective for you.
Yeah.
It really does. I think anybody that's getting too big for their britches should do that once or twice. Get that. Like I said, it puts things in perspective.
Hmm.
Amazing. I've never been to Hawaii, Tina. I'm scared. I have to get somebody that I know that can do really good magic to get me to Hawaii, because I couldn't do a boat because I'm scared of the water, and I couldn't do a plane because if the plane goes down, it's in the water. So somebody or blink and I'm there. So either that or a whole lot of alcohol. I don't care.
We'll just get you drunk on the plane.
Yeah, something's got to give because I couldn't. I would be a nervous wreck. When we flew down to Texas from Dayton. Actually, we left out of Cincinnati. And when we went down there to see my grandparents, when we were coming back, we got on this little what we call them a pedal hopper. We were flying out of Killeen, this little dinky airport, into Dallas Fort Worth, and it was really bad weather. They actually had us delayed leaving Killeen to get into Dallas because when it's bad weather down there, they shut the airport down because of wind shear. They get it really bad.
Okay.
So when we finally got up in the plane, and this plane there's like 3 people in a row here, and then an aisle and 2 people. The seats are like that. It's small. My mom and my aunt were in front of me, and I was sitting behind them, and there was a gentleman sitting next to me, and they were serving drinks on this plane. So my mom had a coffee. I don't remember what I had, but I remember mom had a coffee. We hit what they call an air pocket, which makes no damn sense to me, but the plane literally dropped.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just knew we were dying. Coffee flew up in the air. Everybody's screaming. I grabbed the guy next to me, this poor man next to me. I mean, we were going down and we were literally dropping. This poor guy across the aisleway from me was this big, huge, big guy. He screamed worse than I did.
Poor thing.
Oh, so I can get drugs to go over the ocean.
There you go.
All right.
Who's trying to drug you up?
Tina Marie says there are some good drugs, prescription, that can get you there over the ocean.
There you go.
And then Deanna said she gave her daughter ZQuil on her flight to Hawaii. She was more afraid of the volcano than flying or the water.
Flying or water.
I would love to see the volcano. And that's another one of those things that's really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
There's no control over it. And I think that's what I like about that's one thing. Other thing I like about the ocean is that nobody has control over it. It does its own thing. Kind of like my husband. It does its own thing.
Ain't that the truth?
But with volcanoes, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jake gets irritated with me because I watch like the natural disaster movies. Last night, The Day After Tomorrow was on.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, I do too. And I was sitting there, I was glued to it, and I was like, okay, I know I can watch this another time. I can go to bed and watch it later when I can watch the whole thing. But I absolutely love, and when they have all those tornadoes over in LA, which never gets tornadoes anyway, and they had the tore up city, and I was like, oh my God. I'm sitting there watching that, and then everything freezes on them, and I'm just like, this is just amazing to me. And I sit and think, I wonder if that could really happen, in time.
Maybe.
So I think it was pretty cool.
Maybe.
Hydroxyzine, hydro, hydroxyzine. I'll see if I can remember that. Actually, I should write it down. Hydroxyzine. That's what Sammy's recommending.
Okay. To be able to fly.
Yeah. My cousin, she lives down in Mississippi, and she said that she has a whole new appreciation for water after experiencing her first mild hurricane season. But she's always been,
Oh, okay.
yeah, she lives down really close on the Gulf. She's in Mississippi, but not far, not too awfully far. I think she's like an hour maybe from, I think she's an hour away from New Orleans,
Oh, okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Now that's somewhere that I want to go.
Yeah,
I
we'll
will
go
get there eventually.
there. We're not going to go.
It's just,
We're trying to go not in 21, but in 22.
yeah.
We're going to set up to go there because I think in
It's just,
21 we want to go to Savannah.
there's so much history
Oh
in,
my! It's all over. Everywhere you look is history down there.
mm-hmm.
And then we took a couple of the tours down there, downtown, in like the quarter and stuff. And the one that we took had they were talking about the Tina was there with us. She says no, like trip. Heck yeah. They were talking about how all the cemeteries are above ground.
Yes.
And that you actually only rent that spot.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Well, and this is, I don't know if this is kind of cool or really creepy. So when the tombs have 2 slots in them, upper and lower. Okay. So you have a place for 2 family members. You're in there for a year and a day because with the heat down there and the sun, it deteriorates the body quicker.
Oh.
So that year and a day, they open it up, they sweep you up into a little pile, put you down in the very bottom. Like I guess you have the top floor, the middle floor, and the basement. So they put you down in the basement with all your other family members, and then it's ready for the next.
Cool.
So for your afterlife, if you want to think about it that way, you are down there with all your family members just kind of hanging out.
You better hope to God you like your family.
Right? I mean, it was just really cool. And they said the reason that they did that above the ground was when New Orleans first started being civilized. Mm-hmm. They started, flooding coming through. And they would bury somebody and then see Uncle Bob coming down the road in the casket because it would flood out. So then they started putting them above ground. But I thought that story was really neat because I had no idea why. And it's really cool when you're driving down the interstate. Like we went from, I can't remember the city that we stayed in. It was on the outskirts. But driving into New Orleans, on each side of the interstate was all these tombs. It was really kind of creepy. They were all the above ground tombs, and it was really kind of creepy. Oh, wow. My cousin said that's where the tomb wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole came from. The pole that pushes the bones to the end of the tomb is 10 foot long. I didn't know that part of it.
Huh.
That even makes my story makes it better. That's cool.
I'm just
And
reading Tina's New Orleans girls trip. Hell yeah.
yeah, I'm ready. Um, there's a church there, and I want to say it's St. Anne's, but I could be wrong, where they had the nuns that came over from Europe. And when they sent, this is supposed, when they sent things to them, the crates that they sent to them, like their belongings or whatever, that was they had put the vampires in there. That's how the vampires got from Europe to here.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool when they were talking about that. But there's so much history that is so cool down there. Um, when we went down into one of the little shops, I said I have to go into a voodoo shop while I'm down here because I'm enthralled with it. It just amazes me. It piques my interest.
Voodoo?
So yeah.
Okay.
So Jay and Rick were standing outside. I gave Jay my drink and I said, "Hold this. I'm going inside." And I literally put my hands in my pockets. I wasn't going to touch anything because when you walk in, over on the wall here was they had set up an altar
Mhm.
and they had all these candles that had melted and all this was like, do not touch and blah, 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 blah. And so I just kind of looked at it and went on. Well, all the shops down there are old houses. So I walked through and you take like one step up into another section and they had a register back here and a counter and I was looking. Well, they had a door at the very end, a doorway, like a hall, and it had a curtain over it. Now, all along the door frame, they had tarot cards, the death tarot card. They had, do not enter, do not look in, um, death. And I mean, just all these warnings about not to go in there. So I was
Okay.
literally looking at the stuff that was around the door frame. And this is so weird. The curtain literally blew open and there wasn't a breeze. It literally blew open like it was inviting me in. I was just like, oh, hell no. I just turned around, walked back out. It was really creepy. Really creepy.
Wow.
Yes, that's the same one, Tina. She said the one with Fatish.
Now, it's funny because you said you're going to Savannah next year. You want to go to Savannah next year?
Yeah.
We've been talking. What's that?
We could do a couples trip.
Yeah, if I'm allowed across the frickin' border. Um,
I'm going to start
we've been.
building a submarine. And we're going to put in at Lake Erie.
Okay.
Probably somewhere around Put-in Bay. That just makes sense. And
Okay.
we're going to take it up the river there.
Mhm.
And then we're going to pull in close to your house. And then you're going to have to jump in the submarine. We'll go back down. And then nobody will know.
Nobody will know.
Nobody will
And we'll
know.
take it all the way up through the Great Lakes. We'll stop in Montreal for a night, say hi to Jonathan,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
go around to South Carolina.
Yeah, we can do that. Go all the way through. And then, I wonder how far. Let me think this for a minute. I wonder how far Oak Island is from there. If you could take the Great Lakes through, because I know they're in Nova Scotia.
Yep. You would have to go all the way through the Great Lakes to get up to the ocean. So,
I think we could do that.
why, you want to go to Oak Island?
I do. I think it's cool because there's a lot of history there too.
I think Jack's watched.
Does she watch that show too?
Yeah, I don't watch it.
I do. I love it. Hi, Christina. Deanna wants to know if Joy says 20,000 leagues with TNT. The animals is off of things that we touch.
If we what?
If we get vibes off of things that we touch,
Yes.
I do sometimes, not all the time. For
Not
me,
all the time, no, but
it has to be kind of strong. And I have literally picked something up and like it was hot. You just like dropped it, not wanting to touch it. Look at that tail.
because I just picked him up and threw him out of my lap because he was going to try and curl up. He curls up on my chest, and that's where he sleeps. Jerk. He's such a jerk. But
We missed
anyway.
it. Yeah, I want to have fun. It's like I said, it's that between that and TikTok, I'm good.
What between what and TikTok?
Oak Island, the Curse of Oak Island, and they're doing another show where the guys are helping other treasure hunters.
Oh, cool.
We just watched one, and I know we're behind in them, but we just watched one where they were doing trying to find the treasure of oh nuts. It was a pirate treasure down in Texas. Blackbeard, maybe? I can't remember the pirate's name, but it was a well-known pirate. And they were trying to find his treasure down in Texas, which was kind of cool. Because you don't really think about pirates in Texas.
Yeah, I was going to say, why Texas?
Well, but they were on the Gulf side. Because apparently he had gotten, beyond Oak Island, that's it. Apparently, the Gulf comes around. Like everybody can see my hand motions here.
Yeah.
John Baptiste. They come around, and they were in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And they got ran out of there. So they went further west to what's now known as Galveston.
Okay.
Which is like on the map, Galveston is almost like an island on its own. It's a long island.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. But they say that he got ran out and went there. And that before he died, he buried his treasure. And they think
okay.
They looked for it in, it was some lake that they were looking for it. And they took sonar and was looking at the bottom of the lake. It was all really cool stuff.
Wow.
So I just think that all that history stuff is interesting.
Me too.
That's me.
Well, and that's my sister. My sister went to Savannah years ago, and she asked me if I'd ever been, and I said no. And she said, Tina, the architecture alone is worth the trip.
Yeah.
And she said, she goes, it's very haunted there. And I started laughing. I'm like, well, I think everywhere is very haunted if you find the right location. But I don't know if you remember. Do you remember Chris Allen? He was with us at OSPH.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris lives in Savannah.
Oh, okay.
So him and Bob have been trying to make plans for us to go there for years, and we just have never made it up.
Well, we'll have to get the border open, and we'll plan on the 4 of us meeting down there.
Oh, that would be good fun.
And you know what? You could drive down. You could drive to our house, and you and Jay drive down. It would save a plane ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, because Savannah's probably, what, about 12 hours from your place?
Probably. I think it was like 11 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
So, and we drove to New Orleans straight through. So, and that was a long haul.
Crazies.
We drove to OSP straight through.
I've driven from my place to just outside of about 2 hours East Atlanta.
Okay.
And it took me 14 hours.
Wow.
But that was, stopping to pee and stuff like that. And I had Martin with me, so I had to stop a lot more.
You had Martin, so.
Yeah.
Mark Muncie said Savannah is wonderful, but he prefers St. Augustine. Now, you went to St. Augustine.
That's my favorite place to be in the States. I love West Virginia. I know I said I love West Virginia. It's my favorite state. But St. Augustine is honestly my favorite city that I've been to in the States.
What attracts you to it?
It reminds me a lot of Quebec City. It's
Does
just a very, yeah, it's got, like, again, the architecture, right? It's got the cobblestone roads in the old city. We went to the old church there as well. I'm a big church person.
Mm-hmm.
So Bob brought me in the old church there, and I was able to just kind of sit there and soak all of that in. And it was the first Basilian church for the U.S. I think
Oh wow!
is in St. Augustine. Yeah, it's just
Something to throw.
it's
Hang on a minute.
and there's a lot of pirate stuff down there too, which I find funny. But and
Sorry.
I always make him take me to the fort when we go there. I haven't been to the lighthouse yet, but we go to the fort every time I'm there.
Isn't there one? Isn't there a bar there? A restaurant bar that's supposedly the oldest one in the States and is really super, super haunted. And I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, I don't know.
It's in Savannah.
Oh, it's in Savannah.
In Savannah.
Um,
I can't remember the name of it.
the only place I know of in Savannah that a lot of people investigate is the Moon River Brewery.
Yeah, that's not it. This is actually a functioning bar and restaurant.
Okay.
I can't. I'll think of it later. I can't remember.
Mhm.
Christina Atkins says she's been to Nacogdoches, Louisiana, and it was amazing. She crossed over a slave there.
Oh, wow. So cool.
That would be neat. Deanna said 2 encounters at the lighthouse, St. Augustine.
What's that?
Deanna said she's had 2 encounters at the lighthouse, the St. Augustine
Oh,
house.
it's very expensive to investigate.
Yeah.
So that's probably never going to happen, but I just want even to just do a tour. Like I do lighthouse tours with Bob all over Florida.
Oh, neat.
I've got I've got a little passport. So every time I go to tour a lighthouse, they give me a stamp. I'm that much of a tourist loser.
I've never been in a lighthouse.
Oh no.
There was one when we were at Folly Island in South Carolina. You could go to the end of the island where the breakers were, and it was like it's where like the Charleston Bay comes in to the ocean,
Mhm.
and you got the river and I mean everything's right there, and it's just churning and churning. Um, and there were several. You could sit there and just count sharks through
Oh
there.
wow.
No surfers, no, you couldn't get them through there. But the lighthouse was you could see it from that point, and that was
You
pretty.
probably wouldn't have been able to go to any of them though before with your knees, but now you might be able to climb.
Yeah, I can climb
Yeah.
now. Um, it it's they still bother me some.
Mhm.
Um, but I did now that I'm back to work. All I have to do, I get up like every hour and just walk, just a couple steps,
Mhm.
like to, up to desks and back, up to desks and back, and I sit back down, and then I get up and walk in another hour, and that's helping me.
Good.
I was trying to figure out. I asked the doctor, when will I be able to sleep through the night without taking medication?
Mhm.
Because I was having to take a Vicodin to sleep because it's not like I'm in pain, but I lay there and I flip and flop. I'm uncomfortable. I can't, you know, I just
Yep.
can't lay my leg any direction that's comfortable. So he actually put me on muscle relaxers, and that's helping a lot.
Good.
So I'm glad that I'm on the mend.
Uh,
So, and then I think, gosh, this time last year I was just having my other knee done,
hmm
and it's doing pretty good.
You're like the
So
bionic woman.
that's right. By summer, I'll be good. I'll be running like I've never ran before. Now, if I can get the asthma under control, I could be okay. Oh wow, Deanna said she saw a full form in the basement, and 5 years later smelled smoke and an ice cold feeling in an isolated spot beside the house. That was at St. Augustine.
That's awesome.
And Mark Muncy has put in a ton of things in here. Let me see.
Yeah, Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse is amazing. I see, which is that's funny. I've been to the Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse. I never thought to investigate. I didn't get anything there while I was there, but I was just so in awe of everything. And then I did was able to do the Riddle House last year, the last trip that I had in to Florida. I was able to do the Riddle House, and it was awesome.
So you had a good
That
time.
was a great. Um, it was at Yesteryear. It's at Yesteryear Village, and we were actually able to investigate several different buildings in the village, and the Riddle House was one of them.
Oh, cool.
So that was one of my bucket list locations. I don't know why.
It's fun to mark those off.
Yeah, and it was funny because Scotty Burns, I don't know if you know Scotty,
Hmm.
her team does a lot of volunteer work there and stuff. And she was able to investigate there the one night. And she just happened to she invites Bob and I out for an investigation once a year when I come to Florida. And she said, well, Tina, you and Tina are more than welcome to. And when she told him where we were going, he's like, well, that's one of her bucket list locations, actually.
Oh, wow. That's
So
cool.
it was just awesome. I mean, I'll go anywhere with Scotty. I don't care if she's investigating an old car. I'll go. That woman is a hoot, man. She's
You
so
did,
fun.
you did that church with her. Hi, Michelle.
At the
Cassidy.
old prison. Yeah, we did the old prison together.
Yeah.
We did the Clay County jail and courthouse together, and um, the Riddle House I got to go to. Um, and the Clay County, that was the first time I met them, is when I did Clay County. And Bob had set up that investigation. And actually, I just saw last year the Wraith Chasers did an event there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a great location. So
Do you watch very many of the shows on TV, the ghost shows, paranormal shows?
the only one you're gonna laugh, the only one I watch is Ghost Adventures because I find them entertaining.
I like them
I
too.
love Zach. I think he's funny.
I like to watch them, especially if they're going someplace that I have been. And then I like to see if they have captured any of the same evidence that we did.
Yes.
I think that's cool.
Mhm.
Or if you see it, it's like, oh, I was there. I stood right there. Nope, I didn't
Yep.
get that. Or we got that same thing there. I think that's cool because that's validation.
I try not to watch them until um like if I see, how do I put it? For example, let's say we're going to Hales Bar
Hmm.
and I know we're going to Hales Bar. I won't watch any of the show until after we get back.
Right, right. And I do that. I don't want to know ahead of time. I think if we did, Jason and Jay would choke us. So
Mhm.
I want us to go in cold.
Blind.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
can't. I can't wait to be able to work again.
I know.
It's really bothering me that we can't investigate right now.
Yeah, we've done a couple things like over at 101. And this past weekend, we were supposed to go down to Octagon Hall with Weird Weekends, and we couldn't go.
Yeah.
Jay ended up, we thought he was going to have to work, and he ended up not having to work. But then I was sick and not feeling the best, and I didn't want to go down there. And, I didn't have COVID, but I didn't know what exactly I had, so I didn't want to give it to anybody.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I think that we'll just have to go as Paranormal Mysteries. We'll have to book it and go down there.
Oh,
Because
that would be awesome.
that's where JC wanted to take us. That was his favorite place.
Then we have to go.
So I really feel like we should go.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, it's almost 9. I think I worked almost 12 hours today.
I was going to say, I think it's time for both of us to go to bed.
It is.
Old ladies. Old ladies.
Oh, we're pitiful.
We're not like the Jays. We can't stay up and talk all night long.
Right. It's funny. If I'm investigating, I can stay awake.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm home, 10 o'clock, I want to go to bed.
Yep, me too.
Now, what's happen is I'm going to go in there. I'm going to sit in bed for about 30 minutes. I'm going to do TikTok. I'm going to send you all kinds of TikToks again for you to get in the morning. And then I go to bed.
Perfect. All right. Well,
we miss
what's
you.
That?
George is in the chat room.
Oh no! I miss George.
No.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. That was awesome. We kind of decided last minute we were going to do the show, and we didn't advertise or anything for it. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Yes. And we're going to try to do some readings here soon. We'll try to do that.
Maybe next week if you're feeling up to it.
Yeah, that's
depending
fine.
on if you work overtime.
They're working us overtime through the week right now, trying to keep us from having to do a mandatory overtime before Christmas. So I actually, it's kind of like being order volunteered,
Yep. That's my Sundays right now. I work 6 days a week right now because of the holidays. But oh well.
George says, Tina, have you seen your man at all since COVID? No.
Not since February 20th, 2019.
That sucks.
So we'll see. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But
I think hopefully things will take a turn for the better after the first of the year.
Gotta hope so.
I do too.
Because I just can't. It's getting ridiculous. I
agree.
Just swear, and I yell at him. I'm like, why can't you Floridians just wear your goddamn masks and social distance for God's sakes?
Well, now it's the whole state. The city of Middletown, over across the river from where I'm at, the city went on curfew. They added additional curfew because Daddy DeWine put us all on lockdown again here in Ohio and gave us a curfew. We were all grounded. We're still grounded.
Stay away from each other. Don't touch anybody.
Right? If you
just don't touch anybody. Wear your mask. Don't lick your friends.
Right.
Frick. I just want this shit done. On that note.
Nobody touch your friends. Wear your mask. And we will see you next week.
Sounds good. Good night, everybody.